Hello everyone. Welcome back to another stream. Let us quickly bring in chat on the UI, and because I was working on some layouts and I was recording some videos as well, so things changed a bit. But how is it going, everyone? Welcome to another stream. And so what I'm going to do in this stream is we're going to try to build something with AI. We'll see how it does. We're also going to have question answers as always, and we're also going to look into we're also going to just try out some tools and see how things are going, and feel free to interact in the meantime. And I'm also going to use the tool that we built last time, which was, what did we call it, the sound thingy that can play sounds like wait a second, like this one. Or so we configured this using the sounds tab last time. Let me see if I can find the bottom banner, and you can find it quickly by typing sounds in the chat or exclamation sounds, and you should be able to find that. Zishan says, Assalamu alaikum Ahsan bhaiya, good evening. I have a question. Yeah, go ahead. Epidemium, hey, how's it going, Epidemium? So what I'll do in the meantime is I'll switch to coding thingy, and I'll also try to bring in the widget, the chat group, so you can see yourself as well. This is something I was working on, a video that I'm going to publish inshallah very soon, the NG resource on demand. So let's click to main. Let's do a git rebase final so we can merge it, and then we can push it to main. There we go. And the project that we had, that we were working on, what was the name of the project? Was it Streambot node? I think that was the one, right? I think this was the one. So then we can try out the sounds as well. So if we run it, do we have a command in package.json here? Yeah. So npm start. Let's see. Zishan, what's your question? And now that we have run this, we can try out. Okay, so it's running the command now. So there we go. Now we can try out the commands in the chat. So if I do something like this, there we go. So that works. Zishan says, when I started to after 3 or 4 days or more, then mostly I forget React.js or JavaScript concepts. I have practiced many more, still I face these issues. What do you mean that you forget JavaScript concepts? Do you mean you forget what is an array, or what is an object, or what is a for loop, or what is a while loop, or do you forget how to code it, or what is the syntax? So do you forget the syntax of the programming language, or do you forget the concept? Because there's a difference between like concept versus syntax. So are you referring to a syntax or a context, or syntax? Sorry. I also want to try out this one. Ooh, that one is fancy. I like this one as well. It's like focusing on the, I like this one as well. So yeah, what do you mean? Syntax versus what? And let me know which tool should we use. I'm interested in trying out V0. We could use V0 or Cursor. I think there's a Cursor AI as well. So we have Cursor AI. We have but Cursor AI doesn't allow you to code or generate applications directly. I know V0 does. So if we go to V0, we could try out building something from here. And then I also saw this thing. What was it called? It was round something. What was it called? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to find what was the name. Rosebud. Rosebud was the name. Okay. So Rosebud AI. So this is something we could try. Go from text description to 3D games to apps to interactive websites, etc. And they also told me I could use the premium thingy for some for a month or something. So we will look into that as well. But should we try Rosebud? It's new, or we have V0 as well. We could try V0 and we could try Rosebud, and we could also try them side by side. What do you think? And Zishan, again, I think you're typing the answer, but what do you mean when you say you forget concepts? Do you forget concepts or text? And I'm gonna try to bring up my chat so I can see what did they say when they say about the Rosebud thingy. Rosebud. Um. Uh, Go to my projects, my plan. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Then I can try this. So try WebDev Arena. WebDev Arena. Ooh, AI battle to build the best website. Should we try all three of them? So it generates just a UI, clone of Hacker News, clone of VS Code, cursor. Ooh, interesting. Twitter clone, new chat, battle, leaderboard. This is quite exciting. I'm gonna actually put this down. So battle mode. All right. So here's the thing. We have this Restream application that we have right now. What I want to have is a way for me to be able to select it or to create an app that we can probably publish as, I don't know, an Electron app or something that I can install and configure it. Right now, what we have here for sound is pretty limited, right? So what this does is this is looking at the chat messages right now and the commands that you see when you do exclamation sounds is it's looking for all of these sounds right there. You see in the chat? So don't redeem, sad, etc. So when you put that, for example, don't redeem. Why did you redeem it? Why did you redeem it? Why? So it runs. So what I want to do is I want to create a UI for this so I can configure these commands. And right now what it does is it's trying to trigger a command for voice mod, which is a different software. But I want everything to be done within my software, so I don't have to like go mix and match stuff, something like that. So maybe we can try that. Also try React AI and review, please. No, I think we can't do too many things, so it's going to be very hard for us to evaluate anything at all. So what we can do is we can construct our we can construct web dev AI code editor. Okay. So what we can construct our prompt and we'll see how everything compares to one another. Okay. Let's try to do that. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. I want to go and I want to open my chat again. Control Shift T. There we go. I want to see the messages. So it was web dev. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to just do something. So they said web dev, which doesn't seem to be working. So if I do let's create, it's then tutorial. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. When it comes to just looking at the plan, I'll see. Okay, so we have V0 by ourselves. So first let's create our prompt here. So create let's say create a next JS based desktop application that allows the users to configure several hotkeys, and we are going to say it allows the users to to configure several hotkeys to trigger sound effects. The sounds corresponding to the hotkeys can be selected from the file system. All right. And I also want to go to the code and provide some information. So here we have just a single TypeScript file. So I want to provide this as well, sort of, or maybe this and this. So both of these files, I'm gonna provide it. For now, we just have a Node.js app. We need the UI for it, for example, right? And then we'll add more details as well. So here, what we can do is, let's quickly open this in the file explorer. And then we can add the index.ts, continue with Vercel. Okay, I can log in Vercel. And now my query is gone. That's really stupid. No, now I have to type everything again. Okay, so let's try to do this again. Add this guy, add soundboard commands, right? So create a next JS based app. We can say either web or we can say desktop app with Electron if possible, that allows users to configure hotkeys against sound effects. The sounds should be, or the sound files could be referenced directly from the file system. Right now, we have a Node.js based app that does the job. We need a UI for it. Files attached. Right? So we have asked it to look into the files attached and to create the UI for this particular application. So even if it can't build a desktop application, if we have the UI, we may be able to create this ourselves, and that would be super interesting. So if I let me think if I need to provide anything else. I'll also say I don't want to use shared CDN, to be honest, but I don't mind using it. Or I'll just say use Daisy UI and Tailwind CSS. Use TypeScript as well. Is there anything that we want to say apart from that? No? So am I missing anything? Review and let me know. Zishan says, mostly I forget JavaScript syntax like callback, destructuring. So that's not an issue, Zishan. It becomes more sort of faster for you to remember it or to recalling it, or becomes a muscle memory when you code it too many times. So that just means you have not coded callbacks and destructuring enough time. So keep coding, and then it will become natural to you. Until the time comes when it becomes natural, you may have to Google, and that's perfectly fine. So don't worry about that. Islamic message says, hi, would it be practical to learn DevOps and apply for a job as a fresher, or we should get some experience in other tech domains like Linux admin or development and then transition to DevOps? You can directly go to DevOps, but you should be practicing it to some extent before actually applying for jobs, until you have an opportunity that says otherwise, because most of the job opportunities today, they require someone who has at least some experience with DevOps. So I would say okay, time. So what I would say is still try to play with Linux, try to learn the commands, try to experiment, and learn all those things before applying for job. But keep an eye out for jobs, to be honest. Just keep applying to jobs, to be honest. So I hope that helps. So let's go with this. We'll see what it generates, okay? So that's what it is doing. So I'm gonna go to let's create now. Create a playable piano. I don't want to do that. Mario 64 platformer. Converse game. And it can't, so Rosebud AI doesn't allow us to upload any files. So I'm going to remove this C files attached, okay? But I'm going to keep the rest of it. And let's see what happens here. Sign in with Google. So give me 1 second. There we go. So give me 1 second. And now we can see. So here, now it's going to try to do that. So this is Rosebud AI. Let's see what this does. And then we have Web Arena as well. So I'm going to go here as well. Ooh, you got a sound. What? Okay, we'll see in just a minute. So here we can we add files? Surprise me. No. I'm gonna just go here and see what happens here. So first, let's have a look at what V0 was able to do. So if we look at here, we have some components being created. We have Electron main.js, sound effect lists, which has all these UI. Then we have main.js. I did ask it to use TypeScript. So it seems like it is using TypeScript, but only for pages. But the Electron preload.js, etc. is still JavaScript. And I think I know why, because it just wants to run it directly. And then we have sound effect, package.json, tailwind config. So should we try this out? To run the application, you can use the following command, do this. So this doesn't have, I don't think it has a terminal or a web container. So what we can do is we can try to download this, add to codebase, share, public with link, and then we have deploy. So let's try, and it can't be previewed because it can't really get Electron applications. Zawar Ahmad, assalamu alaikum. Ahsan bhai, how are you doing? Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you doing, Zawar? So what we can do is try to add to codebase, and I can do it like this. So this means I would have to use the shared CDN or shared CDN CLI, shared CDN CLI. By the way, if you don't really know how to get projects from Vercel to your machine, this is what you're going to do. So you need first the shared CDN CLI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my current code, add a new tab, and then we can install the latest. This is bash, right? Okay. And then we can here. So we should be able to then that's fine. So here, if we copy this command, we should be able to do it pretty easily if we go to our project and do some magic. So let's see. Is my PC too slow? Should I get a new graphic card? No. Pre-flight check, verified framework. So we could not detect a support framework. Add this to manual. Once configured, you can add CLI to add components. Aha, okay. But why am I? Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad. So let's go to cd ... Let's do an mkdir. We are actually creating restream, uh, restream bot desktop. Let's call it that. Then we cd into it, restream bot desktop, and then we run the init. So here does not contain a package.json file. Would you like to start a new Next.js project? I could actually do that, but I don't want to do it. What I'll do is instead is I'll just run npm init y. So we have a package.json file. Then I want to just add this. So I hope this works. Meet Vora. Hello, buddy. I'm working as a full stack developer, Angular plus .NET Core APIs. Is there a future in these technologies, or I should move to MERN or main stack development? I think there is still a good future for all of what you mentioned. So Angular plus .NET, yes. So you can continue with that. Okay, then should I, because I have an Electron application, I don't really know how this falls into me creating a Next.js based application, if you understand what I mean. Or I could create a Next.js application and then add all of it. Okay, so let's try to do that. Then what I'm going to do is let's actually open cursor dot. No, we need to build an Electron application, right? Can we build with Next.js? That's what I'm trying to do, but I don't think we need to create an Electron application first. I'm hoping that we can just go with package.json and then go on with that, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually remove the package.json file, and we are going to go and start with the basics. So here, let's actually try to do this first. And it should be this guy. So npx shared cd and latest init. And it's going to ask her for Next.js. We are going to say Next.js. Now we can say restream bot desktop. Because when we use the shared cd and add command from Vercel, we should have our package.json replaced. But I think we just need a surrounding setup, so to say. So we'll see. Epidemium says, don't think too much, guys. What you do, what your delivers. There is nothing best at, and it's all about how you see it. Everything has opportunities. Exactly, yes. There are jobs for almost everything, even like COBOL, PHP, C++. So all the older technologies are still there. C++ especially quite a lot. Which style do you want to use? I'm gonna go with New York and Slate. Yes, let's go with that. For hackathon, suggest me some best projects for JS or React.js both. What will be better in hackathon, like speed of code, clean code, best layout front end, or this? In a hackathon, what's most important is that you have a really clear scope defined on what you want to build. So first you need to decide this is what I'm going to build. Then you define the stories. Even before coding anything at all, you need to decide the feature set that you will demo at the end, because in hackathons what matters most at the end is how you demo your application. So think from the beginning about what you will demo. What is the one feature in your hackathon that you're going to present on the screen, and that has to be perfect. So there should be no flaws in that. It doesn't have to be the entire application that you need to build from scratch. I would say don't implement authentication at all. Nobody wants to see your authentications, sorry to say, but authentication can be a nice add-on, but implement your basic feature or your most important feature first. So if you're building a chatbot for, I don't know, summarizing text, then summarizing should be your first focus. And nobody checks your code, to be honest, in hackathon, unless and until it's specified that code quality is really important. So I hope that answers the question. Okay, now there's a folder inside the folder. So actually let's go and move inside the folder. I'm going to open that one instead of this. And now what we can do is, now we can run the command from Vercel. So it's not this one. It should be this guy. So add to code base, copy this. And that's not the one. This is the one. So let's see. Do you want to override it? In our case, we do want to override the package.json because this is not an Electron application. And what we want is directly from v0. So I want to see what v0 has created, not what I have created, if that makes sense. Okay, so now that we have our package JSON updated, which is this, let's see. So we do have electron here. We do have electron here as well. But here it says when we run dev, it runs next dev and electron both. Interesting. So now that we have this, let's actually run npm install. And I actually want to go ahead and remove the package log.json for now, because I want to install everything from package.json. Are you building a server and client, two separate things? Ethereum is asking. No, I don't think there's going to be a server in this case. I think the idea here is that, or server, not in the sense that we should have API calls. That's what I believe, at least. But let's see, maybe. Because the idea for me is to actually configure the hotkeys, save them anywhere. Since it's an Electron application, I don't think I need a database. I can just save that in the file system. And I think that should be good enough. So we'll see. So just for the sake of moving forward, so this is what v0 created. Now if I go to this guy, what did they create? So here they have created, this requires requires a desktop application for sound effect hotkeys. The template has some useful elements but needs significant adaptation. Let's analyze how the current template relates to your needs. A basic React setup with UI components, event handling structure, currently used for Windows resize, a component-based architecture. Okay. So if I look at the code, I want to look at the code. So this is the AI behavior description, your advanced knowledgeable AI system. What? Chat AI class, get response, chat message, assistant, scene, perspective camera. What is the code for? I'm really confused. And what is this weird sound? So we have this guy right here. I don't know why we have created this. Oh, should I have to apply this? So if I hit apply, then it applies it. Recommended next steps are in. I have no clue what this tool has done, so I'm gonna actually close it. Sorry. So here we have hotkey soundboard, add hotkey. This seems still a bit better. I have no clue what Rosebud AI did. Maybe it's not meant for what I tried to do, to be honest. So we have this howler, hotkey, choose file, no chosen. So if I go here, I say Control Alter 2.
Why did you redeem it?
Sorry, I already said that. So let's say if I wanted to set up a hotkey, I would do it. Okay, this kind of makes sense, but not really. So if I reload this, what just happened? Bad gateway? Can I reload it again? Okay, it doesn't work. Can I refresh it? No, I think there's nothing in the state that shows me what am I right now using. So I have no clue. I don't want to lose my state as well. So I'm not really sure. Okay, if I click this, then this is the code base. Add hotkey, remove hotkey. So this is a single page that we have gotten so far from this package, and it supposedly should work, but I don't trust it. Block does nothing so far. Okay, we'll see. Let's focus on one thing at a time. So if I go back to this guy right here, I should be able to run npm run dev, and this should show us the app. So I want to see what v0 did for us. Here it says through an error loading, la 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 la, was compiled against a different Node.js version using this version of Node.js requires this, or run npm rebuild. Okay, I can do that. That's fine. Could not find a pages directory. Please create under project root. So okay, I'm gonna give this to v0 because I know what's wrong. So we don't have a pages route. but we're trying to run Electron and Next.js, which is a bit interesting. We do have a pages route here, right? So if I look at, if I look here, we have components, but why don't we have pages? That doesn't make sense. So we have component JSON, that makes sense. We have lib, electron, components, index, and this is home, but it seems like a page. Then this is a component. This is app, and this is page TSX. I'm completely lost. So the next version is 12, which is really old. It shouldn't be using that. It uses the app router. Yeah, I can see, but that was introduced in next 13, as far as I remember. But this is not accurate. I'm thinking now. So we have these changes that we have right here, right? So let's say if we did not have any of this at all, and we have a package JSON that has been changed now from all of this, because next 14 was used to create this one. I'm thinking, how can we go about that? So, all right, let's change our prompt. Let's scrap Next.js. Convert the project to use Electron and React.js pages for UI. Okay, let's try that. One suggestion would be, instead of generating entire, we can install Next 14 and start building components from AI. That's better. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to do as well. So now it's trying to use React scripts start, which is still a bit old. But okay, we'll see. Modified package JSON, modified Tailwind, Electron main, Electron preload, source app TSX. I think it should also be able to delete a bunch of those files as well. And what we should have done before? Commit, which we did not. And now I'm really confused on what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reset whatever we have. So discard these files. Okay. And we're going to try to run the command again. So Tailwind CSS is there. So now what it says is run npm install start build and run build electron. So this is for production. Okay. Oh, all right. So let's say add to code base, copy this and running this. Let's see. Electron means desktop app with JavaScript. Exactly. Yeah. Need to create a component JS. Yes, do that. All right, let's see now. I think it's going to ask further if we need to remove or add more files. Most likely replacing package JSON as well. But let's see. Override, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so updated 4 files and added s/updated some files as well. I'm gonna remove again package log.json, and then we can run npm. We're also going to remove the node modules. What about the SaaS idea of generating Electron app using AI? That's what we are trying to do actually, to make this like SaaS, but baby steps, so to say. Because if this is done, then we can actually proceed from there, to be honest. File, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. And at any point, did it include the code that I had? So utils has this tailwind merge, blah, blah, blah. Source sound effects.ts. So it does have sound effects like I had. Components, and then I'm wondering if it has sound effect lists or no. But we'll see. Right now it's just installing the packages, so let's let it do that. No, software as a service app like V0, which will focus only on Electron app. Ah, okay. Now I understand. You mean creating my own software to generate Electron applications? No, I don't think I have time for that, to be honest. I wish I had, but I don't think so. So what we'll do is we'll try to see if this works at all. And we have been online for about 40 minutes and I have a hard stop pretty soon. So we'll see how that goes. By the way, I'm also going to be publishing a video related to Angular today. Hopefully I recorded it, but I think we'll see. It's also possible that my kid just runs in. So let's run npm run. Was it npm start in package.json? So here we have start. So we run start, which runs the React part and runs Electron, right? So let's see what happens now. This part is actually good. So I'll give V0 that, because in order for Electron to actually do something, it has to wait on the React side of the application to actually make it work. Maybe this shows the code in a better way. So this is gonna wait for that. So that's good. I'm hoping to see some results. So could not find the required file. Restream desktop, public, and then index.html. Does it have a public index.html? I don't think so. Should there be a public file? I don't think so. So we don't have anything as such, right? So let's give V0 this feedback. It seems the React app is missing the index.html file in the public directory. Yes, it is. Let's add the missing index.html file and some adjustment. Now, one of the things that I have an issue with so far with all the generators or AI generators is that more or less essentially all the files get updated, which is a bit risky. In this case, it has updated just a few files, which I think is still okay. So we have index.html, package.json, electron.js, and preload has been moved to public preload.js and then index.tsx. I don't really know if this would work, but let's try this out. So I'm gonna go stop it, run this again, and we'll see what happens next. And we had this page tsx as well that we'll have a look. So I'm going to just override all the things because now it's going to ask about all of those. Yeah. There we go. I don't really know what changed in package.json. So I want to see what changed in package.json. Now I don't really know what changed. How can I see the difference? View previous version. So if I go to package.json, How can I see the difference between those two versions? Maybe I can't. So let's run npm I. I think it's time to add some more courses on your YouTube playlist. What kind of courses do you mean? Okay, so still now this says could not find a required file index.js. Now it's missing index.js. Okay. Can you think of other files that an Electron app may be expecting and add all of them at once? Because I think it's going to go back and forth quite a lot of times. First it was index HTML, then it would be index.js, then it would be index CSS, then something else. I don't want to do this 100 times. And I think it's going to just, finish with the limit as well. So generated git ignore, generated electron builder YAML. So thank God that I asked this part of the question. Which team do you use for VS Code? It's called it's called Winter is Coming by John Papa. VS Code. This one. And it's the one without italics. So I don't use italics on mine. And I use the font named Fira Code. So you can also find that as well. Okay, now that we have this, let's quickly try this out. And one of the reasons that it's a bit difficult to work with these tools also, at least for free, is because you have to do all of these things again. Now I want to see if things work. I hope now things work. So we do have an index.js here. Okay. What is it trying to get? It's trying to get an app. Okay. Where is the app? Index.js is trying to get app from app. There is no app.js here. So it's definitely going to break now. And we have app and index here. What is v0 doing? It's what is it doing? So components. Okay, so I do have other files that have been changed. So pages is this one. This is home. This is index.js. This is index.tsx. Where is my index.tsx? So we have app here. I'm so confused right now. Wait a second. So in this particular version, we did have index.tsx, but I don't see it when I try to download it. Or do I download each file one by one? That's not good. Should I try this again? I don't know. I think I should try this again. What is your plans about this course in upcoming days? Node, Next, or TypeScript? What is your plans about the course in upcoming days? Node, Next.js, or TypeScript? I'm working right now on an Angular book. So my focus right now is on that. And hopefully when I'm done with that, then I can look into other courses, to be honest. So right now I do have my React course. I'm not really sure, Zishan, if you have seen that course. But right now I have the React course that is doing pretty well. But I want to focus on the book at the moment. So created 4 files: components, index.tsx, sound effects, app.tsx. So these are the files that we have created. I am so lost at the moment. So this app.tsx is trying to get from this folder. Why? Okay, so I don't know. Okay, So let's see if this, how does this work. So we have main.js. Main.js is running localhost 3000. All right. And then it has this preload as well. Good. Then if we look at this directory name preload.js, which is this one, this tries to select the file, use the command. Okay, that makes sense. How is the electron thingy trying to use? Okay, so it's trying to use this basically, localhost 3000. When we try to run localhost 3000, which is npm run start react, then it would start from most likely source slash index.tsx, which is this. Then it should load the app from the app folder or the app component, which is this. This loads the component. So this, what I see here, could actually work, but what I see here doesn't really work. So this is not going to work for sure. But let's try to do this. So I'm going to do npm start, and we are going to fix things probably manually, because I would expect this to be solved by Vercel, not me. And now we have this add components as well. And then we have this components as well. I mean, the developer experience is just, I don't know how to interpret this. But then there are people who basically say that we are going to lose developer jobs. So, and developers are like, so I have no clue what's happening. All right, so let's see now. I think this is probably working, but I have so many components. I have no clue. So here, look at this. So app can't resolve app. Of course it cannot. So this is app.js, which is being somehow used in source index.js. So source index.js is this, right? It's trying to call app, which doesn't exist, which is actually somewhere around, I think it was here. No, it's not even here. Where's my app component? Is it component slash app? I think this was the one, right? So we are going to take this from here, and we're going to take it to source. Let's move it here. Okay. Now we have components as an issue. So we actually go and do this, and then we do this. Okay. Now we have some progress. So now it says component sound effect list, blah, 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 which no issues found. I think this is next. This is the electron part, and this is the React side of it. Okay. So here it says now relative imports outside of source are not supported. So move it inside. So what I'm going to do is move these components inside source. Okay. Now we have components slash index tsx, which is this one. I have no clue why we have this guy here, but let's say we don't have it. So I'm going to delete this guy. Okay. Now we have source slash app tsx. Now it says this import is wrong, which is which is correct. Okay. So now we have at least some progress. Now it says load config next core web vitals to extend from. Failed to load config this to extend from. So I'm going to restart this again. Who said AI can beat developers, bro? Don't use your knowledge, just have to. Exactly. It's like super stupid. Now it's running at least. So here now we have failed to load config next core web vitals to extend from, which means this package is not installed. So we have to install this package. Now all of these things, if you know, you can't really work without this. So now I have to run this, or I don't know which package it is. So repository not found. So now I'm going to have to Google it. Or maybe, no, I'm now super afraid of actually asking it because I don't know what it's going to do with my project. So let's see. I'm going to ask, maybe I'm going to actually copy this guy. And I'm going to go here. So we're back to Stack Overflow again. Hello, old friend. So now we have delete this. Yes, this one is correct. What? Both ESLint and ESLint config are correct. Blah, blah, blah. So if we look at ESLint, RC.json, I don't want to use it. That's going to be my decision right here. Okay. Something showed and then it went away. I'm going to do npm start. Hopefully it works this time. Okay, let's go. So now we have something. And now what I can do is modifies control alt shift meta. So we have control alt, let's say control. Now what if I wanted two of those? So control alt, and let's say I want to use something that's a bit different. So control alt F8, let's say. And my server just, sorry, my camera just died. My camera is, sorry for everyone who's watching. Okay, so what is going to be key is going to be, should I press the key or should I type the key? Is it F9? Oh, F9. Let's do it like this. So we have command. Let's call it fifth. And then we have this, right? And then we have description, no idea. And then we have sound effect, right? So we can select a file. And now it says invoking remote method, select file, no handler, register for select file. What? Select file. V0. What do you mean? ICP render invoke. So here it's actually going through the bridge to say invoke this select file thingy. Main.js has the handler right here, which should result this, right? But that means that my main.js is not used anywhere at all. Is that what you mean? So the main is main.js. That makes sense. When we run electron, now I have to understand everything that electron does. That's the challenge here. Electron builder, blah, blah, blah. That's not the one that I wanted to see. So if I go to index.js, lib, nay, electron, main.js. So this is the main.js. Okay. This is the preload.js. I'm thinking actually. Bro, just say AI is not going to replace developers. No, AI is definitely going to replace all the developers in the world. Okay. Now comes the actual part which AI cannot do. And look at me while I do it. This. So this cannot be done by AI at all. So let's see if I can reload this. Select the file. Doesn't reach there. Let's see if I get the console log here. No. So here it says there's no invoking remote method select file, no handler, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to try to also see if I can look at it and in the preload. So here as well. I'm probably going to have to run this or restart this again. I think maybe that's why it didn't show. Maybe. Let's see. But I would assume if I'm changing something, it reloads it, or Electron reloads it. So if I click this, no issues found, no logs, neither here nor there. So if I go to add sound effect, okay, so add sound effect. Now I don't really know which one is it. Is it the I think it's not the add components one. Now I'm confused. So we do have our components components JSON here, which should be using at components UI. So maybe I can use these components. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to fix those, to be honest. And then we have this app here as well. So types sound effect, is it I think it's double, right? So let's fix this. Then we have index.ts, then we have this guy, which has to be this. Index.ts, app tsx is fine, and add sound effect is fine. All right, so source components. I don't really know if I want to do that, but let's see. So if I remove the components folder from here, and I also remove the types from here, I think, and I also remove the app tsx from here, then what I want the app from is at components. Is it that? Yeah. Which falls outside of the module not found error, blah, blah, blah. But then I can't really use the component JSON. Can I? Then I have to go and do it like this. Oh. I'm going to stop the server. And I'm going to have to just do this. Let's run this again. I'm hoping everything works still. But my components JSON is just garbage at this point. The components work as they were before, so nothing broken, so to say. This is still broken. So select file. This one is being triggered by preload electron.js, which is in public. We have preload.js, which is in public. I don't know why they are in public as well, or why do we even have a public folder, to be honest. If I look at index.html, this tries to... I don't really know, to be honest. I'm going to comment this file. I'm also going to comment this file as well. I want to run this again. Okay, so this still works. Select file doesn't work. Why is that? Components, add sound effect. This one actually tries to handle file select. So it here says electron.select file, right? Which should be in the preload.js, I think, here, which invokes select file. But why does it not log it? Why does it not log it? Now I'm super curious. Why? And then we have this preload as well. Where is this electron? And this one says here. We also have another preload, which is at the top for some reason. Then we have one in public that I've commented. So many files. Okay, I'm going to restart this. Let's see. Let's see which one gets triggered now. So if I look at the errors now, we see why. You see that? So that means if I look at preload.js, this comes from main file, which is right here, which is not inside. Sorry. Now we have multiple main files as well. So this is the one that was running, right? And then we have the preload, the main.js, this one. This one uses preload. Then we had multiple other files as well. So we had this one that we commented. Let's see how many main.js files do we have. So we have one in electron as well, main and preload. So I'm gonna comment out this one. I'm gonna comment out this one. Those files do not exist for me at all, because I think the shared CDN thingy, it basically removed, added a bunch of things, and then forgot about it. Can you tell me from where should I start learning Angular? Directly from standalone components, or should I start ng modules? From standalone components. You don't need to learn ng modules unless you get into a project that actually requires it. So what you can do is start with this crash course that I said. This one. I can share the link in the chat. See it right there. Okay, so let's quickly move forward. So what I'm gonna do is, we have this right here, we have this right here, and the reason that we have this preload.js saying this ICP render.invoke select file is because we have this main file which does not have a handle. So now we know. So instead of removing the file that we had here, we could actually now copy this. Or actually, I'm gonna just replace the whole content, to be honest. So we have this guy, we remove all of this, I think. And I think we should be good to go. Let's see. I hope everything works still. We'll see. Hey, let's go. And now I think actually our file system should also work. Hey, you see that? So now we have the sound files as well. So now if I say sound, and if I say control or alt, let's say control and alt, we say F9, we say something, and then we select the sound file as well. So what we should do now is, let's say sound effects MP3. So let's go with, I don't know, a beat IO. So here, notification and sounds. And then we have ding. So we download this guy. 3 downloads, renewed monthly. No. Mixkit.co. I don't want to sign up at. No. Download started. Okay, so we have a file here, right? So what I want to do now is to act or to select this file from downloads, this guy, and now we have a file, right? So now what we should be able to do is to say add sound effect, and there we go. Now we have this sound, control alt F9, something, blah blah blah. And now can we play this is going to be the question. So now if I go back to my code, we have this execute, right? So here I wanna press these control alt F9. No, it doesn't do that. No, but it doesn't do that. So the question is, when we have these commands done, what happens after that? So preload.js, it invokes select file. We get that, we set the file, and that's pretty much it. So when we submit, what happens then? Add sound effect. It submits the function. What happens when we submit the function? So add new effect, set command on add is new effect. So this is the new sound effect on add. What does that do? app.tsx, add sound effect. What does add sound effect do? So update effects, set sound effect, local storage.set item. It just basically sets it to local storage. But it does not really trigger them, which is a bit sad. Yeah, so I mean, I know from here I could go forward and actually implement what needs to be done, but I think it's gonna take. So what I'll do is I want you guys to also try it, right? So what we'll do is I'm gonna commit this, and I'm going to tell you what to do next. And you take it as a homework or, you know, your side project or whatever. What I want you to do, or you can actually contribute directly to my GitHub repository as well. But I can tell you what I want to do. So listen to this one carefully. So we have this thing right here, main.js. The main.js essentially has handles on what to do, right? So this one is select file. What we want to do is to have another handle here that says register hotkey, something like that, right? So let's say ipc main dot handle, and here you can say register hotkey, right? And then you can say async, and then something like this, right? Then what you would want to do is to also have something like unregister hotkey. Since we have this application right here, when we click the remove from here, it should unregister it. So what I'm thinking is, what you could do is here, let's say register hotkey to play the sound. And then here, let's say unregister it. Right. So what should happen is when the app loads, so when the app loads right here, you get all the sound effects right here. So you are already getting those sound effects here, right? And you can also console log that as well. So stored effects. So let's say if I refresh here, you should be able to see the store effects here. So here we have the effects. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm gonna try to make it a bit bigger. So here you see the stored effects array. So when the app loads, I want you to loop over these store effects, right? This is just JSON right now. But what you want to do is to loop over each effect and trigger this ICP thing, register hotkey. So trigger or register each hotkey to play the particular sound. And for that, you might need to do some magic here. But when you do so, whenever the app refreshes, we get all the stored keys, we loop over them, and then we register all of those keys. When you add a new key, we have the function right here, which is add sound effect. So you go here and then you also register the hotkey right here. And then when you go here, you unregister the hotkey. And this one would be register all hotkeys after looping over them, right? So this is what you could do. Does that make sense? Can I get some thumbs ups if you understand what I'm saying? So we have this code here. Whenever the app starts, the app TSX loops over everything, says, all right, register the hotkey. It registers all of those hotkeys. Cool. That is registered. And then as soon as it will be registered, then when we'll hit the hotkeys automatically, it should trigger the sound effect. And that's pretty much it, right? So we're gonna do exactly that, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna actually stop right here so I can go and play with my kid. So what we can also do is remove anything that doesn't really work. I want to double check main.js, which has a bunch of things right now. Browser window, main dialog, blah, blah, blah on ready. I think we replaced main.js already. Yeah, this also had the robot.js as well. Yeah, and then the preload.js just had this. So we don't have to worry about that. Preload.js is just here, which doesn't really make, which is not a problem. So I'm going to delete the electron. I don't know if the utils has been used at all, but I don't want to commit a file that's not being used. So I'm going to remove lib from here. I don't know if anything from app works, to be honest. We have fonts, we have globals CSS. I have no clue if this is being used, to be honest. Globals.css. Component JSON has that. Layout TSX has that. Is layout.tsx used anywhere at all? No, it's not, right? Favicon, global CSS, layout TSX. Maybe, and that's just maybe, this file is being used still. I want to double check this. So if I run this again, sorry, I'm gonna Run this again. I think this is the file which is still working. Ethereum says, I think today I need to drink a lot of coffee by seeing what AI is doing. Kind of AI is confusing us and wasting time. Kind of, but I think it's doing a decent enough job. For example, since I knew how to go around that, I still have a lot of things that I can use from this UI. But it was not easy. It can become a bit frustrating, of course. So I'm going to actually save this and see if this affects anything at all. No, it doesn't. This is styles global CSS. Okay. Globals.css. It's an app global CSS, which is actually right here. So if I remove this guy, does anything happen at all? Okay, I'm gonna have to refresh to see maybe what's going on. All right, so now see the CSS is still being used. How? So many questions. So here we have public and electron.js. This one is, and this one is not being used, right? So we can delete those. We have main.js right here. We have Tailwind config as well, which looks into source files. And then post config uses this, or post CSS. The source style TSX is this one. This one. Okay, I want to try to see border color or background color red. I want to see what happens when we run this again. Tim Champion says, that's hilarious. I just went through that. Sad. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. So I can't really be sure about this because still there is like, let's go with this. So add sound effect. So this guy right now has a color, right? Button and button primary. I want to see which file basically triggers that. So if I save this guy, refresh now, nothing happens. Great. I want to try this again now. I want to see where is this Tailwind CSS, or where are the Tailwind CSS classes coming from? Okay, so that's not the file. Which file is it? This is not the file. So if I look at this Tailwind base, oh, there's one more. There's one more file. Okay, then we have src. Okay, if I remove this one, okay, that's the one being compiled. Finally, we know which one it is. The source index CSS is the one. Okay, so I'm gonna have to remove this styles thingy. Then let's remove the one which was this guy. And I think actually this whole thing is just not useful. Maybe favicon. Are we using favicon? No, we are not using. So a lot of this code is just plain stupid. So I'm gonna actually remove the app from here and hoping everything works. Ethereum says everything is magic. Exactly. You should just go like. Alrighty, so we have main.js. We removed the files that we should have had removed. So I think one of the things that we could also do is to remove move this file, soundeffects.ts. Isn't that the name of the file? Soundeffect.ts? No? Is this file being used at all anywhere? I want to use this hotkey. No. And what about this guy? So sound effect is being used in app component, which is here. But what was being used here? The sound effect. Aha, okay, this one. Okay, and then we have all of that. Okay, so what we can do still, I think, is we can move the types inside src to make it a bit nicer. and hopefully everything still works. Good. So we still see our single added Electron app, which is nice. And I think we can take it from there. So we'll keep it like this, and we'll continue when the time comes. I don't like this. Why does it go out of the way? Maybe I'll fix that before closing. Sound effects. Where is this? App has sound effect list, has file, and this is the description, and then we have the file name, right? So here, let's say class name, break words. I think it's actually break all. What is it called? Word wrap? No, white space pre. Nay, is my CSS that bad, or is it just because we have an annoying table thingy there? So we have text overflow ellipsis overflow hidden max width, I don't know, 40 pixel. So we could get it like this, but I don't really like that solution. Kind of. Do we go with this or what? The gambler says, I keep on commenting on your TikTok live, but I got no response and I went straight here. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My my tool right here does not show me TikTok comments. I'm so sorry. I don't even know where my phone is. So sorry. My bad. Sorry. Okay. So what we're gonna do is let's maybe just end at this. We could maybe add a bit more than 40 pixel to it. So so overflow hidden max with 40 pixel. Let's go and update that a bit. So we had break all, text overflow ellipsis, text ellipsis, and overflow hidden, and then we can do a max width or a max M. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can't see anything because of my face. So max width, and then we have 40 pixel. All right, so this is what we have now. I think this should be good enough, and we don't have to do this manually ourselves. So okay, so this works, right? So we'll keep it like this, and then I'll just send it. Oops, close it. So if we look at open view explorer, so if we look at this guy here, I think the code is still, or it's pretty nice now. We don't have a bunch of weird files. So let's quickly do a git add commit feed. We can say add, or since we did, yeah, we can just say app implement adding commands. Added the possibility to add commands, fixed garbage. Can I do, no, can I add an emoji here? Ooh, I can't. From the AI generated code, and then we push it, but we cannot push it because there's no Git repository. So let's quickly create one. Now, when you have this thing, you could actually implement robot.js and then go from there, but that should be a bit easier. So for starters, I would recommend you to just just fork this, create a pull request, and then I'll accept it as soon as possible. Or we'll do it in the next live stream. So Restream bot desktop is the name. So Restream bot desktop, and then I can make it created and quickly add this guy. And we do git push u origin main. Great. So git push. And we refresh. There we go. So we have our files here. I'm going to share the link with you. There we go. Yeah, PDM, it seems like apparently I had a TikTok account at some point where I tried to create some educational content, which did not work at all because nobody wants to see that. So, but I don't know. How do I see my live? No. I don't even know actually how I would see if I'm live there or not, which shows how much I've used it. Maybe studio. I have no clue. Okay, so I'm gonna end it here. All right. So I think we're good. I've pushed the code. You can try implementing this yourself, or we would just create these issues to say what to do in this case. So I'll feel free to create issues here. Feel free to report that, and then we'll take it from there. With that said, thank you everyone for joining. I'm gonna actually go and play with my kid. I might do something just before I do that. But thank you for joining today. And as always, happy coding. I'm gonna see you next time. Bye. Take care.